Right then, I'm sat here with Jody Rivers, football coach from Matt Le Tissier Natural Coaching. So just a little chat about...
You're a natural.
A natural?
You're good, mate. You're good. Yeah.
So yeah, I just have a little chat with you about, you know, your inspirations and so on. Ever since I've known you, you've loved football.
Yeah.
Where does that come from? What do you think?
I think you've got part of the play in that, really.
Really?
When you consider growing up as a little boy, we lived in a little cul-de-sac, an island in the middle, green.
Yeah.
And we were out
that
there.
says no ball games.
Yeah, no ball games, but we carried on playing anyway. We used it as a defender. Can you remember? It was Gary Pallister.
Yeah, he moved about as well.
Yeah,
didn't he?
we nicknamed the signpost "No Ball Games" Gary Pallister. So. But no, it's been since then really. I look back as well, and we used to always get the people moan at us, didn't they? Because we were drilling balls at cars.
In cars, and any time you kicked it into somebody's garden, you had to go back and get it.
Exactly, but you think about it, I've got a car now. I wouldn't want anyone drilling the ball at my car, do you know what I mean? So it's
I suppose
strange.
it wasn't so bad when we had the little plastic floater.
The floater, yeah.
It was when the leather footballs came out, and then
And
we started going crazy.
You were older than me, you could hit a ball harder, but I always got the blame. If you notice, all the people would walk down to my house, like Rivers boys.
Yeah, but because me and John Lee would always be shooting down the road because we didn't want to go running after the ball.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And when have you ever known me to miss? I never missed. I scored every time. It went straight down the road.
But no, it goes back to them days when I grew up. My first words were a ball. That's what Mum's told me.
Yeah, you said before.
Yeah. So a ball. So destined to love football, do football, work in football, whatever you want, I suppose. But I think there are good times when I look back. You know, when it was street football, you know, where we're playing and the ball went under the car and you had to get under
the car and pull it back out again.
And taking corners, if you remember.
On somebody's garden.
Yeah, but it was good because the gardens had a slope, so you let the ball roll down and it would give you the elevation to get the cross in, so the high crossing. But now I look back and now football's my life. I mean, obviously family and stuff like that, which we'll probably talk about in a bit, but football is just absolutely massive for me. And I remember Grandad, he's passed away now, but he always used to say, all that boy talks about is football. That's all he talks about. You know, what are you going to be when you're older? You know, you got to concentrate on something else, and luckily it's worked out that I am doing football.
Well, yeah, I remember that there were times you'd knock on my door saying, you're going to come out and play football?
Yeah.
And it's like, well, yeah, of course.
I remember playing slam with you.
On my next door neighbour's wall?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, we used to stitch each other up, didn't you? You get it close to the wall, you could just hit it off the wall, ricochet, and pull it about 20 gardens down.
Along,
yeah.
And the thing is, they were tiered. The houses were tiered, weren't they? So you drop back further and further away. So you couldn't even see the wall when you were taking your trying to hit it.
Yeah, exactly, like a golf shot, I suppose, in some ways. But I suppose when we look back now, those games are gone.
Yeah.
You know, coaching companies. You know, even a bit like ourselves, we're structured and we try and make it fun and we try and encourage, free skills and natural, as in Matt Le Tissier, natural coaching. But I think that when you look at it, it's games like slam. I wonder how many kids now play slam and
headers and volleys.
Headers and volleys.
I love it. I would actually, if someone said to me now, do you want a game of headers and volleys? I would say yes.
Yeah.
I'm 40 years old.
Yeah.
I haven't kicked a football for about 6 years.
Don't forget the debate on half volleys. What is a volley? What is a self setups?
Well, no, because they're not allowed that. You're not allowed that. That's against the rules.
What was the word when you were allowed?
What was the rule about hitting it over?
Parry.
Oh, that's when you punch it out and then you can just take a shot.
Parry. God dear. I need to do that tonight. I need to get to MLT Academy tonight and just go, do you know what? Session plan ripped up. There's a wall.
Have a give a slam.
Let's go. But no, it's the best game in the world, mate.
Yeah, make sure if they catch a header,
they're
in goal, yeah?
Yeah.
That's the key rule.
Oh, we're talking retro now.
I know, right?
We're talking retro.
So when you were running around that little island, playing football with us, now, obviously everyone has their football idols, their inspirations, why they love playing football, why they love football, who they want to be.
Yeah.
I was a Liverpool fan, you're a Saints fan. It's going to be clear who you say in a minute is your football idol. But for me, you have all the Liverpool had all these flair players at the time. You had your Dalglishes, John Barnes, what a player.
Yeah.
even Peter Beardsley, but Jan Mulby was my one, because that boy didn't move very much, but always had space.
Yeah.
Could pick a pass.
Yeah.
It's just a wonderful football.
You're building it up because you know what I'm going to say.
Well, no, okay, no, but he ran occasionally. He ran a lot. No, but you're going to say your football hero is.
Well, my hero is not just is Matt Le Tissier.
You get to work with him.
So yeah,
that's
so
great.
So Matt Le Tissier was my boyhood hero. He is still a hero now of mine, and people probably listen to that don't. How can I put it? They're younger than me and probably thinking to themselves, well, he's 36. No, he still is my hero. And other people have met him and probably don't see him in the same light as me because he's no longer playing. They didn't see him in his prime and stuff. But with me, he is my hero. But you say that, I grew up, as you know, I was born in 1980, so Liverpool were big.
Yes.
Liverpool were big at the time and always showed it in my
biggest team in Europe, weren't they?
And so I grew up admiring that Liverpool side. Your Grobbelaar in goal, Hansen, Glenn Hussein, Steve Nicol, Ronnie Whelan, John Barnes, Peter Beardsley, Ian Rush, John Aldridge.
These are all fantastic players.
Yeah, top quality and good players. But so the reason it's Matt Le Tissier though is Southampton. Dad was a Saints fan. Used to go to the Old Dow. Took me to my first game when I was 4. And I fell in love with Southampton, obviously, because he took me every week. It was cheap. I mean, he could get me, if my brother came, you're talking my dad, me and my younger brother, you're talking getting them in a fiver to watch
different world, isn't it?
Yeah, to watch top flight.
Well, because they were in the first division.
And Dad would literally go to work in the morning. He still is a bricklayer. He'd go in as a bricklayer. He'd come home from work, in his bricky clothes, and he'd go in his bricky clothes. Nowadays, when you go to St Mary's to watch a game, you see people in, diesel jeans, Armani coats, whatever it is. Yeah, nice pair there. But no, it's changed. It's not. And it is a little bit, I find it a bit strange in the fact that, you go to some football stadiums, like Southampton are playing tonight against Liverpool.
I know.
Second leg.
What a day to be doing this.
What a day to be doing this. But, trust me, my mood tonight, tomorrow, the next few days is on tonight. I don't know if you get that anymore from everyone that is in a football stadium. I don't know the percentage, but when Saints it's like when Saints won on Sunday, I'm euphoric because we've won 3-0 against the champions, we needed the points, blah, blah, blah. But all Sunday night I can think about is Virgil van Dijk. And whether he's going to be fit. Yeah. And that's a football fan. That's someone that I think you can, you've either got it or you haven't. You're either, I don't want to say a real fan because everyone's entitled to be a real fan, but it is a big passion of mine. So, but going back to my ultimate hero was Matt Le Tissier. That's who I pretended to be when I was at school. You doodle in class. You draw a star. You draw a box. You draw faces. Remember your cartoon characters?
Yeah.
Yeah, that you used to draw, which I copied as well.
Yeah.
Did that, but I used to draw a Saints shirt with 7 Le God on the back.
Oh yeah, the God. Yeah, definitely.
So, and that's who I pretended to be. And yeah, the ultimate hero. So that's who inspired me as a boy. And I think the whole. I used to love looking back of people who used to. Back then, you didn't have the internet.
No.
So
sticker albums.
Yeah, exactly. But no newspapers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's all you had was a newspaper in the morning. No Sky Sports News, nothing like that. So any news you had to wait until teletext maybe got the story.
Yeah, that was. I remember days, trawling through that. Especially, it's bigger now, isn't it? It was like the transfer window that goes crazy. But I remember always looking to see who Liverpool were going to sign. I remember when we signed Dean Saunders, and I was thinking, that's cool.
Yeah. Well,
I've just seen that in bright yellow text again.
Club call, running up a bill of about 20 quid on the phone bill because you won't have a club call. But no, I used to love it because people used to say, Matt Le Tissier's leaving. No, Chelsea have bought him, Tottenham have bought him, Liverpool have bought him, and you wake up, you go to bed, and as a kid, and you're thinking, we're in trouble now, we're never going to stay up and whatever. And then the next day, you're still there. And I can say that every day, you're still there. Yeah. So. And Dad actually told me off. I've told Matt this story. I said, Ricky Lambert came on the scene because I wanted the number 7 shirt that's for Saints retired.
I like Ricky was number 7.
When Matt left, of course, as it happens, Ricky Lambert comes along and wears the number 7 shirt. And I remember when he went,
when he joined Liverpool?
I got a saying, Matt Le Tissier's God.
But you loved him, didn't you?
Yeah. Matt Le Tissier's God, Ricky Lambert was Jesus.
Yeah. But Ricky Lambert for Saints was phenomenal.
Yeah, absolute class.
And and as a Liverpool fan, I love the fact he came and played. I know he played with us for a season, and you wouldn't. I think you wouldn't consider his season now a success, but I would.
But to him, it's a success
because he got to fulfil a lifehood dream. You know what I mean? He scored at the Cop End. He did everything.
But I think
a Liverpool fan would want to do.
Well, they say you should never meet your hero. Matt's hero was Glenn Hoddle. And
again, what a player he was.
Yeah, what a player he was, but coach and manager, you have to...
Questionable.
But what I would say to that is I'll let you listen to interviews with Matt, rather than me quote Matt in this chat. But I've met my hero, and I can't meet anyone more grounded, more humble, more inspiring. He gives me advice. I'm not going to pretend that I'm his best friend. We're not. When I say that, if there was people, if I was really in trouble, in life, I would go to that I've known a long time and help me. But this is someone that has his busy lifestyle, and he's managed to give a small part of his time, as much as he can, to me, and I'm eternally grateful for it. I can go to him for advice. He trusts me, and you can't ask for any more. But going back to the shirt, I thought that Ricky, I wanted it retired, and I thought no one can ever wear that shirt again. Kanchelskis tried it, Thomas Hoito wore it, Kevin Phillips wore it, not quite the same, and then Ricky comes along, and I was, this was all of a sudden another icon Saints fans could relate to, not as skillful, I would say, in natural skills. No, as flamboyant is the right word, but what Ricky done for that football club, and the way he talked to people. I met him once, and he was chatting to me about MOT. Oh, you work for Matt, and it was really humbling. But he, when he left, Ricky left to Liverpool. I went down the old man's house, my dad. He went, see, and he said it in other words, but I won't say it in this chat. He said, "Don't you ever put any player in the same bracket as loyalty as Matt again." He said, "I don't want to hear it, Jody." Exactly what you're going to say. I said,
I would say it's a different world now.
Yeah, maybe so. But I think
because outside of Man United, with your Neville and scratch that. Well, your Neville and Giggs, I guess, and Paul Scholes.
Yeah.
John Terry at Chelsea, Gerrard and Carragher at Liverpool. You struggle to find players that have just stayed in one club.
Yeah, I think what's unique about it, mate, is
in fact, Gerrard, you can't even count him, I guess, because he went to Galaxy. But he'd gone to Galaxy.
Yeah, I think. Well, who knows? Yeah, who knows? But they had the opportunity to win trophies. Now Liverpool, the joke is they didn't win the Premier League, but they won the Champions League.
Yeah.
You look at John Terry and what he's achieved there. Yeah. You look at your Beckhams. Well, not Beckham. Obviously, Beckham went to Real Madrid, but your Nevilles and...
Well, Giggs won everything so many times over.
But when you're at these clubs, Phil, and you've got the opportunity, why do you need to move? If you're at Manchester United, okay, you can argue Real Madrid, Barcelona, clubs like that can take you to another level. But when you're there and you've got the opportunity to win the Premier League every year and to win Champions Leagues every other year or whenever it is, then you can stay. But for a player to stay of that ability, of that talent, fulfilled his lifelong ambition of playing for England.
Yep.
He could have gone and played for any... And do you know what? I think it makes him a better player, because that unknown, you'll never know. So the debate in the pub is, Matt Le Tissier, he couldn't have been Eric Cantona. He couldn't have been whoever. Well, we'll never know.
No, you're right.
And I think that we
all have our own opinion.
Yeah, exactly.
Me personally,
so the not knowing,
yes, he could.
So the not knowing, I think, puts him in that higher bracket. But the goals he scored, and to literally, Alan Ball is someone I wish I'd have met. I'm fortunate enough to know his children, and they've told me stories about him. Alan Ball walked into the first day as Saints manager and said, "You to Matt, stand in the middle there. Every one of you, he's the one that's going to get us out of trouble. You get the ball to him. Your first thought is to get the ball to him." And it made Matt feel 10 foot tall. And he, 8 caps. And people will laugh at this. This is my first controversial bit of the chat. Gascoigne. It was Gascoigne better than Letizia? I bet your first thought is yes, because he'd done it for England, blah, blah, blah. But did Matt get the opportunities in an England shirt that Gascoigne got?
Well, there's the difference, isn't it? Was he a better player? I think in his pomp, probably, but he wasn't in his pomp long enough to really, as in Gascoigne. I mean, when he was at his peak, he was phenomenal, but injuries and that, and yet he was still being put in there because he was Paul Gascoigne.
Yeah,
and he had that. You could have those moments of genius, but
I'm not taking anything away from Gascoigne.
No, absolutely not. But I think if you look at the time when he was coming, he was still being included in that England squad. There are times where I think, well, no, I'd take Matt Letizia because he's going to be more reliable to give me these moments of pure quality that are going to win a game.
Yeah,
I think if you go to Italia in '90, different ball game, isn't it? The guy was just untouchable.
Yeah.
But yeah,
but it's strange because I'm sat here now with the badge, Matt Letizia, and actual coaching, and from my perspective, everyone, when you're young, you want to be a professional footballer. Now I've got the opportunity to represent my hero. We've got links and connections with Saints, and exciting ones coming up as well, where I get to represent my hero at our football club. So you could argue that by working for Saints, that would be my ultimate. And no, Matt, but I think there's something unique about actually Matt represents himself at Saints. So Matt Letizia is a hero at Southampton and looked after within the club. But when it comes to Matt Letizia and actual coaching and looking after our boys and what we do, I get the opportunity to represent him and us.
Well, yeah, because him as a person and as his brand as well, you are that representative for that.
Yeah,
and it must be a proud moment.
Definitely. But
you're talking about playing earlier on. So you obviously your aspirations really were, well, not really, but your aspirations were always to be a footballer. And you were a good footballer. Let's not beat around the bush. You never reached the levels of Matt Letizia, obviously, but you were, from what I remember, because I think obviously because I'm a few years older than you, I'd stopped playing football and I was doing other things like kids do. Yeah. And you were continually playing football, and you won lots of bits and pieces. But how did you make? Because obviously, football, you stopped playing, and then you decided to coach. But how did you make that transition? What drove you to do that?
You're right. I wanted to be a footballer when I was a boy. Looking back, I didn't work hard enough to fulfil that dream.
That's a common thing.
Now, whether I was good enough is open to debate. Again, like the Matt going to a big club scenario was, we'll never know. I didn't work hard enough. I was at Bournemouth as a kid. Didn't want to go to the training sessions because it was on Friday nights and there were girls when I was 14, 15 that actually showed an interest in me, mate. Do you know what I mean? So
no, I think you're.
It was the curtains, the blonde curtains. Trust me, they were.
I do remember these. There are photographs of these as well.
Exactly. But no, I mean, when I was 14, 15, I didn't. I thought I wanted to be a footballer, but I say to kids now, who wants to be a footballer? They all put their hand up, and then I ask a different question, a totally different question. Yeah. Who really wants to be a footballer? And that one word completely changes the question. Yeah. So I look at it, mate, and I didn't work hard enough. I didn't want it enough. I had the opportunity to go and play Don Rogers, and a famous old player from Swindon Town spotted me, wanted to take me to Swindon Town, but before I got into the academy, he wanted me to play for a Swindon Robins team. But I decided not to play for him because it was on Sunday, so I carried on playing with my mates, scoring 90 odd goals a season,
in the Sunday
thinking
league.
I was great, taking on players that weren't challenging me, scoring in the top corner of a full-size goal with a 4-foot goalkeeper. And probably, if I'm honest with you, and this is being open and honest with you, I think the stats and the medals I won probably made me look a better player than what I actually was, technically.
Yeah. You'll always be judged by the people the people that you're playing against, because you only have a beat who's in front of you, can't you? So until you put yourself in the sort of in better competition,
Yeah.
you never really know, do you? And if you're not stretching yourself, you can't say whether you're going to. This comes back to that Matt Le Tissier thing again.
Yeah.
Would he be such a big club icon had he been playing at Barcelona? I guess.
Well, yeah, but this is the thing. He scored.
Well, he scored at every level.
He scored at every level. He scored the goals he did against great teams. Don't forget, he scored against Manchester United. He scored at Old Trafford. He scored against Liverpool at Anfield. He scored against Spurs at White Hart Lane. In arguably a weaker team. So, but with me, it was I don't think we won everything. We were a good side in my local city of Salisbury, and we won everything, and we won medals, and if we drew a game, it was the end of the world. I think we lost 2 games in 4 or 5 years. Now you probably think that's great, but personally, that challenge to step up, I never really took. So
well, that's what I mean. You're playing at a level that could be, and to be honest with you, it probably was sort of a level beneath where you should have been playing at.
Maybe, yeah.
But you wouldn't know.
But it's not.
You didn't push yourself to find out.
I'd have to say that I don't think it is the level below myself, because my attitude.
Mentally, maybe not.
Yeah.
Ability-wise.
Yeah, ability maybe, but it's a package. Your ability and your mentality. And my mentality was I was the best player in the team, which is arguable. When I look back, there were other good players, but I scored all the goals. But I couldn't have done it without them. I got the headlines. My name was in the paper, things like that. And then when I got to men's football, I realised that I wasn't as technically good as what I was. But I have real frustrations when I got to men's football, and this is part of what inspires me in coaching is when I got to the age of 15, 16, I was very skinny at the time, very light, very quick, but didn't have no understanding tactically of the game, none at all. I played up front in the 4-4-2. The ball got played over the top, I ran onto it and I could finish. That's one thing I could do. I could finish from close range, little flicks, because other inspirations in and around the box were Robbie Fowler, that little outside of the boot or that little back heel, something like that to score a goal. And I look at, when I got to men's football, I was told by coaches in local football, he's too light, he can't do this, he can't do that, he don't know his position, he should be there. I remember playing in the game for Benmont Heath Harlequins' 3rd team, and the manager, we had a player sent off in a pre-season friendly, and we went to a change. To this day, I don't know what he was asking me to do. It seemed that I was on the right-hand side on my own, but at one point he was asking me to tuck in and mark the centre forward. And then the next bit, then when I was at right back, I should have been right wing. So he told me to get forward. I got forward. They hit us on the break. The left winger was in. And I remember coming off and absolutely destroyed, and then got told to go and find another club. And you think, well, hang on a minute. You look back, that's poor management. That's poor coaching. There's obviously a player there. Because I'd achieved a little bit or stuff as a boy. But no one had ever said, right, this is what we're going to do. Right, come here, we're going to work with you, and showed a bit of belief. And the players that were playing in the same team as me, because they had a bit of balls about them, they could tackle, they could head a ball, or they could run and barge people out the way, because I'm 5'5". For people that are listening to this and haven't seen me, you know what I mean, 5'5", and I'm talking by now my mates are 6 foot, so they can compete in games. And no one bothered. And men's football to me is a bit of a blur. I played with teams, I played with my mates, but I look back at my men's football career and I wouldn't say I even stalled, I'd say I went backwards. The only manager I would say that came anywhere near to it was a man called Stuart Withers at Shrewton United, which is a good level of football. And I was 19, 20, and I had to leave them because Lauren was born. This is back in 2000, and travelling was too much, and blah, blah, blah. But he just said to me, he said, Jody, I want you to just literally play. If you're up front, you play up front. And he coached me, little movements, stuff like that. And then he wasn't a great coach, he was a manager. I remember him saying, we had a player that played behind us called Nick Jones, and he just loved to run. Yeah. So what he wanted me to do is play in a 4-4-2, play on the left-hand side, but get out of Jonesy's way. Basically, I used to have to vacate that position and just go and almost drop in as a 10 with 2 midfielders sat behind me. So I had a free role. My only job was that if Jonesy went, I just literally had to go and block the full-back's run,
for him. Yeah.
tuck back in. Sometimes you have to do it. And that's the first time that tactical coaching came into my game, came into my head, where someone said, look, get out of the way, blah, 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 and whatever it was. And I look back at it, and good people, of course they're good, nice people, but football people, no, I don't owe them nothing. No. They didn't help me, they didn't develop me, they gave up on me.
So, obviously, now you're coaching.
Yeah.
I remember reading something, obviously this isn't about you, but I remember reading something about a guy, it's a few years ago now, he's taken over an under-10s team.
Yeah.
He's then actually went and emailed all the parents of the players,
yeah,
and said, this is all about winning.
Right, yeah.
I'm not interested in losing.
Okay.
I want to win.
Yeah.
If your kid's not in the team, it's because he's not good enough or he's not working hard enough, and I want more from them. Life is difficult, so why try and gloss it up any other way?
Yeah.
And I kind of think, well, he was sacked, by the way, which I think is fair enough, because your opinion on this, is it, as a coach of young people, is it about making them better players, solely about being better players, nothing else, winning and nothing more, or making them better people?
Yeah. There's an obvious answer.
Well, yeah,
the answer that everyone would say, but it's my answer, and I wholeheartedly believe in it, and that's better people.
Well, yeah.
And I was just about to say, do you want me to tell you why? But we're having a chat, doing a podcast. So you obviously want me to tell you why.
Well, yeah. Please tell me.
Right. I think there's a fine line. I can end it right. So that person there, that coach there, he's got a mentality, and life is tough, etc. I believe personally that if you are not a good person, whatever a good person means, and I'll go into that now, you can't be a good player. Because if you're not a good person, that means you're not going to listen. That means you're not going to learn. That means you're not going to develop. That means you're not going to lead. That means you're not going to take advice. That means you're not going to be a team player. So I think that the most important thing is when young players, it's difficult because some players are academy level, some players just want to kick around in the field, and the good coaches will connect with all of them. So the 4-year-old in the nursery that is just all of a sudden he wants to pick the ball up. What is this? It's a football. Wow. Do you know what I mean? What is this great big thing? Up to the 11-year-old that is now a professional football club academy and is showing the ability to maybe potentially go on to be a professional footballer one day. But you need the life skills when you're developing as a person to become a professional footballer. So, manners, standards, morals. I mean, the best academy in the world for me is Southampton Football Club. And you could argue that Barcelona's there with them. Lucky enough, Sporting Lisbon. Now, I went to Sporting Lisbon, spent a week there. I didn't have to once pick up my plate and take it up to the kitchen. I didn't have to once go and get my food. I didn't have to go and get a drink. I didn't have to, there was, because of the bald head, they had suntan lotion. Kids were bringing me suntan lotion. What I'm trying to say is those kids, it's installed in them to be good people. There's a guest here. There's a guest.
Look after.
He needs to be looked after.
Yep.
Can you go and get his food for him? Can you go and get his bread and butter for him? Can you go and get his drink for him? Can you, and that struck me. And then that showed on the football pitch. They weren't spoilt brats.
No.
When the ball was given away, they got frustrated. They had little pops at each other. But what I like is when he popped at his mate, he popped back, and then it was, thumbs up. Here we are. We're in this together again. Let's look to, rectify what we've done. That come around, that teamwork. And you go to Barcelona, and today for you, tomorrow for me. Barcelona.
I like that.
Right?
That is good.
Xavi, Iniesta,
Yep.
Busquets,
Yep.
Messi, Puyol, Piqué. Yeah.
Valdez. And the list goes on and on and on, really, through that academy.
So, La Masia in Barcelona is based on moral standards. Today for you, tomorrow for me.
Yep.
Okay? So I'm going to give everything I've got today for you, and tomorrow we'll do it for me. And then when tomorrow comes, I'll give it to you again, and you'll do it for me tomorrow. That's their mentality. Understanding the team. Understanding to be part of that bond in the change rooms, that bond on the training pitch, the respect from the coach. Yeah, if I've got a problem with you as a coach, no, it's not a problem, it's a question. I'm going to come and ask you. I'm going to sit down and ask you. I didn't understand that. What do you mean by that? I wasn't comfortable doing that. Guardiola, he turns Messi into a false nine. Messi didn't understand what a false nine is. I know we're going a little bit above and beyond kids now, but these were kids just like I'm coaching now.
He was still a kid when that happened anyway.
Exactly.
Okay, a lot older than the guys you're coaching, but he's still...
Yeah, and game understanding, and Busquets, I mean, the most underrated player, not by me, by the way.
Not me, as you well know.
Is Sergio Busquets. Yeah. Guardiola's famous of saying, if you watch the game, you won't see Busquets, but if you watch Busquets, you'll see the game. I've sat and watched Busquets in the new camp, live, with a pen and paper. This is how geeky I am when it comes to football.
But it's your job.
Yeah, but when I read books, and it takes me an hour to read 10 pages because I make notes.
Yeah.
So I'm sat there watching Busquets, and he drops into a position. I've seen that. He got dropped into a position. I thought, what the hell is he doing there? Within 2 passes, Phil, he was on the ball. Yeah. And I've gone, well done. But that's tactical side of it. But the game, everyone, you ask Xavi, Iniesta, Messi, Valdez, Puyol, Piqué, you ask them, the team doesn't function without Busquets. But Busquets is not going to win a Ballon d'Or.
No, and I remember, I'm trying to think...
But they appreciate him.
I'm trying to think who it was now. I just remember watching game after game after game. It must have been the Italian league, because obviously I was pretty obsessed with that years ago.
I remember that, yeah. And the Dutch league, you like the Dutch league?
Yeah, I just like tactical football, but I also like...
Tell me where Ulrich van Hobbel came from. Remember the Dutch fullback for Saints?
Yeah. But I just remember watching like probably the whole season, and I still can't think of who the player was, but literally every game you'd hear the commentator saying, "Well, he's had a good game because no one said his name."
Yeah.
Because he's just gone about his business
in good referee.
Such a way that he just. Like Didier Deschamps, for example. Now he's a player. He was somebody I admire as a footballer, and they just called him the water carrier.
Yeah.
Just no fuss, no drama with him. He knew his role.
Yeah.
Win the ball back, give it to Zidane.
Yeah.
Job done.
Yeah.
And him and Zidane made a great midfield pairing.
Yeah.
And he did all the dirty, grotty stuff that somebody as graceful as a footballer as Zidane didn't have to do. And that's not to say Zidane couldn't do it.
No.
He would quite happily stick his foot in, sometimes a little bit overzealous at times, you know. But it's those sort of players that sort of go unnoticed.
But that's what
they're the key footballers of that team, aren't they?
See, this is what I'm saying. Don't tell me that everyone can use Barcelona as a prime example. Southampton's academy, the way they and I've had brief insights into it, and there's connections all the time forming with us, and I hope to see a lot more very soon. But what I love about Southampton is when you hear Sam McQueen talk, when you hear James Ward-Prowse talk, Matty Target, Jack Stevens, Harrison Reed, Luke Shaw. So the ones that have gone, Luke Shaw, Callum Chambers, Adam Lallana, Bale, Walcott.
Yep, Oxlade-Chamberlain.
I don't doubt their confidence, but the way they talk, their manners, the way they come across on TV, the way they well-spoken, educated, grounded individuals. Yeah. But don't tell me they're not winners. Gareth Bale is a winner.
Yep.
But did he come from an academy that was all about him and all about winning? No, he's come from the best academy in the world that has grounded him as a person and made him understand and realise the importance of being in a team. Working hard at school, showing respect to your teachers, showing respect to your parents, your grandparents, your brother, your sister, dealing with situations when your pain in the backside little brother is annoying you. Do you hit him? Or do you, after all, I'm not saying that you might have the odd scrap, do you know what I mean? But as you get older...
Your little brother was bigger than you.
Yeah, still is.
I know. That's how little you are.
Exactly. But this is what I think when you solely go out to create winners, you create spoiled brats that have no understanding of losing, that have only want to taste the success. And there's the old saying of you need to taste defeat to really appreciate success. And for me, it has to be, I mean, I work in schools on a daily basis, and I've worked in an academy. And I still have academy players now that are professionals and scholars in regular contact with me. And I get just as much satisfaction from encouraging the kid in the corner of my lesson, my football lesson, that doesn't want to play. Can't be bothered. He's not interested in football. She's not interested in football. Because mum's dropped her off. She's at work. You're there. It's cold. It's wet. It's miserable. You've got to make her smile. You've got to make her be inspired. You've got to make her want to join in. Because that might build her confidence. She might never kick a ball again, but that might inspire her to go and do some music lessons. That might inspire her to go and do some reading and writing extra. Whatever it is. She might be a poet one day. She might, whatever it is, she might go. It doesn't have to be a glamorous job of being a football coach or an actress or an actor or a dancer. She could go and work in the local shop and be a massive part of the community where people go in, and she's got the confidence to talk to people and ask how her day was and make them smile and remember what you've done. And that's what frustrates me, is coaches, when we're talking about developing people, when we're talking about developing players, what annoys me is coaches that say they want to coach but they don't. And what I mean by that, anyone can put their cones down at the start of a session, balls, bibs, cones, coach. And it can be the greatest session you've ever seen, whatever the greatest is, I don't know. And you can make a play, but if you want to be a coach, you have got to learn to communicate to people. You've got to learn to inspire. You've got to learn different abilities. Yeah, you've got to break things down. It's no different to teaching a kid how to read. Break that word down into 3 bits. Well, I'll break your turn into 3 bits. You're pivoting on your left foot. You need to turn on your right. But there might be the kid next to him that is just purely and simply, if you can get her to kick a ball, you've done well. And I think that that's what we're lacking. We're not lacking winners. We're not lacking philosophies of should it be all about winning, should it be about developing. We're missing out on coaches coaching, in my eyes, and it's not everyone, of course it's not, and I need to make that crystal clear. There'll be people out there that haven't got the time but to improve as much as they'd like. But hand on heart, you've got to care about every person that's in front of you, whether it's for a one-off session, and you've got to try and inspire them. And I think that we're too busy focusing on the elite and trying to push them through. And I think that winners, all this win. Well, we're in a mentality as well of parents in this country, parents, and where we haven't been successful at the top level of the country. So we and everyone's got a philosophy of it. But I think if we can start making good people out there in the community, which will then be the future coaches, will then be the future teachers, will then be the future lecturers, or whoever it is. I think if we can concentrate on that and then get someone that turns up at a session. I'll ask you a question.
Go on then.
If you said to me, right, me and you are going to run to the train station from there, I guarantee I want to beat you there, and you'd want to beat me to that train station.
Well, you said I'd want to beat you. I'd either want to beat you or lose so bad that you can go and get your car and pick me up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I wouldn't allow you to beat me.
So let me give you another example. I get 2 kids tonight at coaching.
Yeah.
Right, boys. Go and put your drinks bottle there. Get back. Go.
And they will
race.
Yeah. No, but it's that natural competitive edge, isn't
it? Don't tell me it's not in them. Don't tell me it's not in them.
It's there already.
Yeah, exactly. So why does it need to be coached? It doesn't have to, you need to beat him. You need to be better than him. No, it needs to be, for me, okay, pride. So rather than saying to them, you need to beat him, hey, when you get that ball, I want you to attack that space in behind him. When you get by him, I want you to change pace so you can get away from him. Go on, off you go. Go on, off you go.
That little bit of encouragement.
Inspire, rather than you must win.
So you also, I kind of think with this whole we need to create winners, it should all come back to why did you kick a football in the first place?
Yeah.
Because you want to have fun. I know you can put football into the same, but I know people will say, footballers, glamorous lifestyle, fast cars, nice houses, get paid massive amounts of money.
Coaches don't get that.
No, exactly. However, it's the same thing in any job, right? If you're not enjoying it, you won't get the most out of it, and it won't get the most out of you.
No.
So I kind of think if with football, with coaching children, I guess, as long as they're enjoying it, they'll put a little bit more into it, and they'll get more from it.
Let's go to the because people won't know some of the names I could say on here. There's people at a lower level than what they'll see.
Yeah.
But they can't relate to the name because they won't know them. But there are people that I know that can inspire kids and young players to be winners and create. The best managers in the Premier League in the world at the moment are Maurizio Pochettino.
Yep, I'd agree with that.
Pep Guardiola.
Yeah, I know he's having a struggle, but he'll come through.
Forget that. That's another podcast.
No,
Pep
you're
Guardiola
right.
And his inverted commas struggles is another podcast. Trust me.
Okay.
He's not struggling.
No.
We're struggling. English football's struggling.
No,
because Guardiola improved Spanish football and German football. He's taken it to another level. When Guardiola does get it in inverted commas right over here, we'll realise, hang on a minute, we're so far behind. And when he's won that will be when he's won all the trophies. I'll put my head on the block there.
Yeah.
But the most.
Oh, he will.
Yeah, the best coaches in the world: Maurizio Pochettino, Pep Guardiola, Jose Mourinho, Jurgen Klopp, Diego Simeone, Antonio Conte. Yeah, you can argue that Wenger, Unai Emery,
Tuchel. I think it's still a bit too early for Tuchel. I think we need another couple of years out of him to see whether he can hit that plateau.
Rafael Benitez.
Love that guy.
Daft as it sounds, this sounds daft. I'm going to say this and people are like, underrated.
I know, I'd agree. I think when he went to Inter...
he won, you know what I mean?
I know when he went to Inter and it didn't work out for him.
Yeah.
Okay, but that happens.
Yeah.
Everyone puts Mourinho on his pedestal.
Yeah.
It's not always worked out for him either, has it?
So we've got all these top managers, okay?
Managing in
the Premier League, and I'm going to come up with some English names now. So you've got all them. They inspire. They are passionate. Yeah. And it's not false.
No.
That's what annoys me. When Klopp punches the air, he won't do it tonight, by the way. But he means it.
I reckon he means it.
Conte, he means it. That enthusiasm.
For me, the best coach in the league at the moment.
Guardiola, all these, Mourinho is Mourinho's relaxing now a little bit. Manchester United, you're starting to, but what a coach. But these coaches, for me, inspire. They make you have fun. I would enjoy playing for Maurizio Pochettino. I would enjoy playing for Pep Guardiola.
Yep.
So it's no different to a kid.
No.
That's why they go and kick a ball, because like you said,
it's about enjoying the game.
Yeah.
If you treat it as a job, it will become tedious. It will become hard work, and then you won't. I don't think you put the right amount of, not necessarily effort, but the right amount of passion into it.
Yeah.
But you're about to say English coaches.
English coach.
Eddie, obviously.
Eddie Howe. I mean, I met him a few times when I was at Bournemouth working in the academy there. He managed the first team, and it's a busy job, but he would appear at the academy, and I know that what he's done is that he's put people in places of position that he knows and trusts.
Yeah.
A big influence for me there was Coach Stephen Purchases, who is played with Eddie, knows the philosophy, and it all works on that. But Eddie Howe is one that is just inspiration. Pep Guardiola has no hair. He has the beard. He has the Latino looks, the tan, the smart suit, lots of charisma. Eddie Howe, I don't think gets at this moment in time. I know that within the game he does, but from the media and people, You know, why can't Eddie Howe manage Manchester City? Why can't Eddie Howe manage Manchester United? The answer to that is he can.
And one day I would like to think he will go on and take one of these big clubs and be successful with it.
But he works, he grafts, he's in the first thing in the morning, he reads, he's got quotes around his office, and I copy it. There's the honesty. This is what annoys me as well as coaches as well, is when they think English football is a disease and they've got the cure. And no one else can influence them, whether it be someone they're reading about, the coach down the road, the teacher down the road. I was asking a teaching assistant yesterday, how do you make a kid learn a word that he can? Well, we break it down into 3. She looked at me, and after 3 minutes, she went, you're not going to learn anything from me. I said, I just have. Because when I go there tomorrow and he can't dribble, I might have to break it down like I do. Do you know what I mean? So, and Eddie Howe, for me, is inspired. But coaches in this country, it just annoys me. Oh, this is the way it should go. This is the way it should be. Futsal. Everyone talks about futsal. Futsal, what a great game. Love the game. Fast-paced, intense, tight areas, quick feet, decision-making all the time. But it's not football. Don't tell me you can't take elements of futsal into a football pitch. Of course you can. But what about when you get out of that tight space and you've got 30 yards in front of you?
You haven't on futsal, but on a
in
pitch,
a football pitch you have. So what do you do now?
Well, yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's where Neymar, for example, Neymar is probably the greatest example of playing futsal. That it turned into, there's others obviously. But Neymar,
Well, you've got that pocket of Brazilian players at the moment, haven't you? Coutinho as well. He has these little moments of skill that just puts defenders on their backside.
Yeah, we all want to play. Yeah, so I personally believe that you need to take advantage of what's that. We didn't have futsal courts. We didn't have futsal. We didn't know what the game was. So now the game is fresh in this country. We should embrace it. But we should never take away that, we live in a country where the weather is crap.
Yeah.
So I think it's important to get kids outside where the weather is crap. Like tonight, cold. We'll be at MLT. We'll be cold. Well, hey, that's a different thing. Now I've got to inspire a kid
to get his hands out of his pockets.
Hands out of his sleeves, which drives me mad. It's different to coaching a kid in this country in December, January to June and July.
Yeah.
Because obviously the climate. Brazil. Hang on a minute, Brazil. Well, let's get on the beach. Let's play futsal. Let's play beach football. Well, to be fair, yeah. Then have a Coca-Cola. While down on the beach while the women are walking by and the parents are looking at it. It's a different mentality. We need to take things like futsal, we need to embrace them, we need to let them play them, we need to coach them. But a lot of people say about coaching futsal, well, if you coach futsal, hang on a minute, I thought it was a natural game.
Well, the point of that is you just go and express yourself.
Exactly.
It's not to be coached.
There are skills that can do it. I find it fascinating. I think it's brilliant. I really do. I think futsal is something that we can learn from. I think classroom-based sessions. I've been to Saints Academy and watched the boys being taught manners and standards, learning poems in English. Because then you get the opportunity to speak in front of your peers, which is vital in a team sport. How many kids have I seen come into an academy environment, even MLT natural coaching environment, and they are just like, whoa, shoulders down, hold the bottle, what's going on there? I don't want to go in there, Dad. I don't want to go in there, Dad. I don't want to go in there, Dad. That's because they haven't been they haven't been taught how to speak in front of people, how to communicate. Because now everything's done that. If I want to come and have a beer with you, I'll text you. I ain't got to come and knock your house.
Yeah.
Knock your door.
So with that though, I mean, with a child that's very sort of meek and nervous and shy, do you not think that are they generally all right on the football pitch? Would you say? Because obviously it's a different form of expression.
I don't think there are. It's like Franny Benali, another one of my role models who works at Manchester Natural Coaching. Now, Franny hasn't made me a better better coach. He's made me a better person. Where he talks, he's just an example. I mean, his charity work, as you well know. He's just an absolute. He's just. I can't speak high enough of the man. The way he's got time for me. He's played in the Premier League. Played in the Premier League, played against the best players in the world. Bergkamp, Zola, Cantona, Henry. He's played against them. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I remember him telling me Beckham used to get. I think, hey, you played against Beckham. I can't coach that. There's a little bit of a debate here because the old saying, well, like Gerrard, he's gone to Liverpool Academy. I think it's the best. What a move!
No, and I agree with that.
And well done. And I don't care about the circumstances why he's gone there, because the Liverpool job's not available at the moment. Who cares?
No, but I think you have the same opinion as me, where these players that just retire from football and then get these top coaching jobs when they have no idea. They've not earned that right.
Jobs for the boys.
Well, yeah. I don't think they've earned the right to do that. I mean, you either go into lower league football, or you, obviously Gerrard being...
Why not school?
Well, yeah, but Gerrard being Liverpool through and through, get him in the academy, get him learning his trade, like he did as a footballer, and get him to build up to...
Arrigo Sacchi. What was it? I didn't realise to be the jockey, you first had to have been the horse.
Yeah.
It's totally different. I don't care what anyone says.
And he...
it's like Matt Letizia. I don't want to make it... I don't want to quote Matt too much, but I'm sure Matt won't mind me saying this, because he's openly said it. He can do what I can do in coaching. Group of players. Why? Because what he done was so natural. That's number one. He had natural ability, i.e. natural coaching. But also number two, as a player, there's no comparison. Do you know what I mean?
You were far better than him.
Well, it's like comparing Batman to a policeman. Do you know what I mean? It ain't going to happen. Matt Letizia, I can't compete with him. But what I can compete with when it comes to coaching is knowledge, studying, communicating, working in schools, dealing with people, the head teacher down to the year 4-year-olds, and enthusiasm. That's what you need. You can have all these ideas. Steven Gerrard, it was a world-class, fantastic footballer, but if he cannot translate those messages to his players, I do admit that you don't earn a lot of respect when you walk into a change room. I remember when Saints, Pochettino walked out, we were in crisis, meltdown, all that rubbish. Koeman walks in. Now, Ronald Koeman walks in as one of the best footballing centre-backs, sweepers, whatever you want to call him, that's ever produced. Don't tell me, and I'm not contradicting myself, I'm just trying to give a different side to the story, that Koeman's reputation as a player, players didn't go, do you know what? He disciplined Schneiderlin and said, look, you can have the weekend off, you're back in Monday, you're not going. But I think he then got the best out of Schneiderlin for a year. And I think that his reputation as a player, he is engaged into his management and coaching. But he can communicate. He done it. I'm not saying, Phil, that players shouldn't step out of football straight into management if they've got the tools to do it.
But he started obviously coaching in Holland anyway.
Yeah.
So it's not as though he walked straight into a Saints job from hanging off his boots. He'd had years out of the game, and he'd done all his bits and pieces, and not necessarily earned the right to be like the manager of Ajax straight away.
Look at Guardiola.
But he did.
Look at Guardiola and Mourinho's paths. Guardiola, when he first stepped away from playing, took Barcelona B. He wanted to manage a team. Okay,
he jumped from B to
pretty quick. But then he took the time out of Barcelona, went to New York, studied. Which I do. I study different sports and take different. I mean, one of the most inspirational people at this moment in time is Eddie Jones. The bloke's a winner.
Rugby player, Eddie Jones.
Yeah, he's a winner. Eddie Jones and Guardiola are good friends. They speak and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So Guardiola went to New York. He watched basketball. He watched handball. He watched American football. He took all those mentalities. He took it to Bayern Munich, and you could argue, yes, he didn't win the Champions League, but he changed that football club's mentality. Already world class with Samuel Rummenigge and people like that. Changed it already for the better. So I think you look at we'll go back to it. You look at the managers now; they work hard, but English managers can do it. Eddie Howe. Now it's a different, totally different style of football. But Sean Dyche at Burnley.
He's doing a hell of a job.
Why can't Sean Dyche go and manage Manchester United? He's got, at this moment in time, if Mourinho walked away tomorrow, would Sean Dyche get an interview?
No.
Would Eddie Howe? Maybe. Probably not.
Probably not, to be fair.
Why? why? I don't get it.
This is that. You kind of get a big club mentality, don't you? They want these all-star coaches because they want to go and buy these all-star players.
Yeah.
Can you tell me right now if Eddie Howe? I mean, if we're talking Man United should be big enough draw. Anyway, a player should want to go and play for Man United. Yeah. I mean, if I was a player, I wouldn't because I'm a Liverpool fan. Yeah. But I can't imagine any other player saying, "Oh, I don't want to play for Man United." Yeah. But you go back to David Moyes.
Yeah.
How much trouble did he have signing players?
Yeah, it's not just that as well. I feel I do feel for him because again, that's another British, hard-working manager that had earned his corner at Everton.
Oh no,
I think Louis van Gaal did a better job at Manchester United than people give him credit for.
No, so do I.
But Moyes could have done that job.
Yeah, well,
but we're talking top-flight football now, where people are, you need instant success. But I think that's happening in academies now. People aren't, for me, taking the time, to give young players the opportunity, and that is why I am proud of Southampton. And I've sat there before and I'm a bit frustrated when we've sold Luke Shaw and we've sold Adam Lallana and whoever, the list goes on.
Thank you for Adam Lallana, by the way.
What a wonderful, wonderful footballer he is. England's Messi. And no, he's not as good as Messi, but he's our Messi. He dribbles and sensuality. But, we've lost players. But I do get pride when the players are given an opportunity. If Virgil van Dijk is not fit tonight, Jack Stevens will play at centre-back. At Anfield, in the semi-final, second leg of a major domestic trophy, Jack Stevens will play. If Ryan Bertrand is injured tonight, Sam McQueen will play.
Yeah.
James Ward-Prowse may well start anyway. What I'm trying to say is,
I like him as a player, and I'd like to think he would start anyway. But
but that's what I'm proud of Southampton. Barcelona and Sporting Lisbon. I'm lucky to have gone to all three and seen, and not just as a coach, as a fan. I now support, if you like, Barcelona and Sporting Lisbon. I look out for their results, I watch their football, but they give their players a chance. And I think if you've got a philosophy, you need to produce your own. You need to have your own people coming through.
Well, football is a sustainable business.
Yeah.
That has to be the case.
Yeah.
Because it is, and I'm not meaning this like in a completely business way. Because but it is fundamental. It's cheaper for me to develop 10 players than it is to go out and buy Sadio Mane.
Yeah.
Okay, if only 2 of those players come through, it still saved me money. Yeah. But I've got 2 players, not 1.
Have Southampton missed Luke Shaw? Well, you could argue they signed Ryan Bertrand. Yeah, okay. So a cheaper option.
Yeah.
So that's fair enough. And I think Bertrand is a fantastic player.
Quality.
But when Bertrand is ready to move on, if he's ready to move on, if he goes to a, inverted commas, bigger club, whatever way you want to call it, Target and McQueen are vying for that space. Now Southampton effectively will have Matty Target, Sam McQueen. Let's say Bertrand did go. I don't want him to, by the way, but let's say he went. You've got Sam McQueen, Ryan Bertrand, and 20, 30 million pound in the bank.
Yeah.
Now, that's good business.
Well, no, exactly. If so it's not just about, because that's about sustaining your the football club in itself. Yeah. I know, you're a selling club, you're a selling club. Well, the reality is, we're a selling club, but we're not falling down the table. We've got, Saints aren't it's not as though you're selling all your players and getting relegated, is it? You're staying where you need to be.
Yeah, I think this season's a bit of a transition period. God, we've gone from influential managers to talking about Saints, which is good. But I think...
No, but...
I think...
You're looking at it as it's developing young players still, isn't it? It's still putting that faith and that trust into somebody.
Exactly, and you're not going to get the same success as Sadio Mane, Victor Wanyama, Graziano Pella. You're not going to get the same success instantly with Josh Sims, James Ward-Prowse, Harrison Reed, Sam McQueen, Sam Gallagher who's out on loan, Jack Stevens, whoever it is. But what's going to happen in 2-3 years' time when they've been given the opportunity to play?
Well, they're better players, aren't they?
Better players, better team. Who knows where it will take us? We might have to take, to finish 6th again this year. for Southampton, you know, we finished 6th last year and we beat this top side. All right, and everyone's getting frustrated. We have. I think the gulf has widened. There's no point in me saying it hasn't at this moment in time, but I think
this is a bigger transition this summer.
I think the long-term plan. Don't be surprised to see us back up there within the next couple of years, if not higher. Because that's the aspirations, to be playing European football with at least
season in, season out,
with 50% of homegrown players, and that has to. But that ain't going to be instant. That starts with the under 11s and under 10s tonight that they'll be training or coaching. You know, I should say. So, there you go. But I love Southampton. I think that comes across.
Do you reckon?
Just a bit.
So, well, obviously, we've been talking about these great coaches.
Yeah.
I'm glad you mentioned Saki, because that man was just... He turned up... that Milan side he had was just unreal. Yeah. Unplayable most of the time.
Yeah.
But, so you going forward, we're talking about you inspiring people, you know, inspiring children who want to play football and become better people. What are your aspirations going forward? Where do you see yourself?
I'm not in a rush. When you first start, I think in coaching, you're in a rush to get to the top, whatever the top is, to work in the Premier League, to work in Champions League, and I think you look at the destination, you forget the journey. What I've realised with my experiences, and I've had some good advice along the line as well, from Matt Franny, someone called Steve Phillips, who's a business partner, but he's more than a business partner. He's been immense in helping me on my journey, and Lisa, the girls, my mum, my dad, grandma, you know, I'm sounding like it's a speech now, but it's not. I think what you do is that you start to realise that what you're doing now is important. Now. In schools this morning, talk about aspirations, following your dreams, and I am giving everything I've got to try and inspire in 15 minutes little workshops, trying to inspire people, and that's what I want. My first thing is to concentrate on what is happening today. So that's Matt Letitia Natural Coaching, improving us as a company. I don't want to say brand, because there's no long-term plans to franchise out around the world. It's not about that. It's four directors, me, Matt, Franny and Steve, that want to inspire people. Matt wants to give something back to the local community. So does Fran through his coaching. Steve does all the financial bits and the boring bits, and I am allowed to coach and I'm allowed to inspire coaches. I want us to concentrate on now. So my first thoughts are to inspire in schools, to get people involved in sport. If I can't get them involved in sport, at least make them, when they walk down the corridor past me, want to have a chat with me and tell me what they've done at home, school, you know, at the weekend or whatever. Try and give kids challenges along the way to be good people. So go home, make your bed, help out around the house, all the things I didn't do, if I'm honest. I was lazy.
No, I do recall your mum not being happy with you.
Yeah.
Not doing anything around the house.
Still ain't today. No. I didn't ring her back until I said I'd ring at 7 last night. I didn't ring till 8:30. Big Brother was starting, so. But now I think, you know, that's what I want to do. That's now. Football and coaching has taken me to some wonderful places, and it's made me meet some wonderful people, and they don't have to be famous. When I'm talking about wonderful people now, I'm not just talking about Matt Letitia, Franny Benali, whoever it is that I've met. I'm talking about kids. I'm talking about parents that have got a story to tell, and teachers, and you know, and some wonderful people that I can learn from, and I can form good relationships with.
But just now we were talking about your role in inspiring them.
Yeah.
They inspire. I know from what I do, I get inspired by them just as much.
Yeah. Oh. I've been reduced to tears with some of the stories I've been told, and thanks as well for some of the stuff we've done. And you know, I have a little look up. So I'm driving along and I look up sometimes. I know it sounds a bit strange, but I look up at the sky sometimes at Grandad and think, how has this happened? Do you know what I mean? Look what I'm doing. It's all going well. But I think. So that's that. Aspirations longer term. I'd love to coach for my country at Wembley.
a particular level, like under?
Do you know what? If it was schoolboys, if it was under 18s, 21s, whatever, then great. But why not aim to be sat on the bench? I don't want to manage. Managing don't.
That's not for you, no.
Yeah. At this moment in time, Phil, no, it doesn't. I don't want to manage. My strength, I believe, is communicating, trying to inspire people. There's the balls, there's the bibs, there's the cones. Let's improve as players.
Yeah.
I'm not interested where you were last night, or what you're doing tomorrow, or do you want to move to China? I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in, right, let's get you to be able to cross that ball on his head tomorrow.
9 times out of 10.
Yeah, whatever it is. That's what I want to do. So the coach for England is an aspiration.
I imagine a coaching at Saints as a thing, possibly.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, I stepped away from academy football because Matt Letizia natural coaching was growing to a size that it needed my commitment. Loved academy football, and I worked at AFC Bournemouth Academy with good people.
Yeah.
And that was 2 coaches really did inspire me. Sean Brooks, Matty Holmes. They gave me the opportunity to coach. They gave me the opportunity to learn, to develop, to understand, and they gave me freedom. And I owe them a lot. Another coach is Ross Embleton, a good mate of mine. He's at Swindon Town now. And we sat down together one day and we just talked football and that relationship. And he's the one I go to now when it is coaching. So they've inspired me, and I stepped away from academy football with the new management. There's so Joe Roach is head of the academy at Bournemouth. Very different to Sean when I was there, but a good person with good intentions. And there's good coaches there and good people there. And I stepped away purely and simply because family time and things like that. But also within academy football, my personal belief is that it has to be, and it's not knocking it. It's the way it's that cutthroat, isn't it? Where you've got to, you don't always get the time to produce the person, not just the player. So
this is that whole point about. Is the player, but they want
that
player.
So by doing Matt Letizia natural coaching, I learned to develop a person quicker.
But I think they come hand in hand.
Do you know what I mean? Which will give them the opportunity. So to go to Saints, I mean, there's links obviously with Matt and Fran being at Saints.
Yeah.
I've been to the Bath Academy and spent some time there, and I've been to Marchwood and spent some time there. And there's things coming up as well, but. There'd be, but one day, yes, not yes, definitely yes, but when it's ready, because I've got a love affair with Southampton Football Club. And
that's my point.
If I go there, it has to be right time for them and for me. I will not want to give anything half-hearted and spoil something special that started when I was 4 years old. So yes, the aspiration is there, but the ultimate for me, believe it or not, not the old, but a lot on par with them is to one day work at Barcelona. I think the influence of Saints Academy, Sporting Lisbon has been huge, but the success that La Masia, and who's to say that Saints, let's hope they will, Saints don't repeat that success with their own homegrown players and winning major trophies, but to win Champions Leagues, World Club Championships with your own players,
La Liga every season, yeah,
and playing the way they did.
Yeah,
I mean, I will never forget that game when they played at Wembley against Manchester United, and fair play to Sir Alex Ferguson, the way he was after the game. He knew. But what dignity, Guardiola, what dignity, Messi, Busquets, Xavi, Iniesta, Puyol, Piqué. The players that had come from in David Villa, who lifted the trophy that night? Abidal.
Yeah.
And the problems he'd had.
Well, exactly.
Winners? Are they winners?
They are, but they're only winners because they become good people.
There you go.
They weren't winners before they were good people.
There you go.
And that's it. This is what I'm saying. That's the order it needs to be in, isn't it? Yeah. If you work on the person.
Yeah.
they will become a better player.
Yeah.
And then they will in turn become natural winners.
I think so.
Well, I think the natural winners is there's that competitive edge, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah.
I think you're right. But no, so the aspirations for me on a personal level, one day Barcelona, one day Southampton, one day England, but more importantly, mate, how I get there, just having fun every day. Just having fun every day, going in schools and, you know, do you know what I got asked today? What's your favourite food?
Go on then, what is your favourite food?
Olives.
Black or green?
Green. With stuff on them, different spices, mate, stuff like that.
Like stuff with cheese and...
Yeah, if you really want to treat yourself, mate, if you really want to treat yourself...
This is just now turned into
olives,
a food chat.
Yeah, olives, kettle crisps...
don't tell me, a glass bottle of Coke.
A glass bottle of Coke, Italian ham, glass bottle of Coke. You've been reading my Facebook too much, mate. But yeah, no, I think, you know, you're in schools today, they're saying to you, what inspires you? Well, I'll tell you what inspired me at the beginning was proving people wrong that said didn't have the knowledge to be a coach. Who the hell is he? He's Jody Rivers from Bowman Heath. What does he know about football? I still, to this day, when people say that, I say nothing. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. What can I say? Who am I to say I know anything about football? But what I'm saying is that, you know, what inspires me is proving people wrong, doing it now, but more importantly now doing it for people that have shown love and trust in me. But kids, working with young players, but also, I mean, you know, like I'm in there today being asked them questions. What inspires you? How long have you been coaching? What coaching badges have you got? How long did it take you to do them? And then you've got this little kid at the front. What's your favourite colour? What's your favourite TV programme? I said, I had to think. I said, Match of the Day or MasterChef. I like that, or box sets. All right. I said, what do you want to be when you're older? He said, Power Ranger.
That's brilliant, though.
What?
It's like innocent,
yeah.
isn't it? And I love that.
Yeah, exactly. He looked at me as a football coach.
But for a moment then, I thought he had asked you what you wanted to be, and you said Power Ranger.
No, I wasn't big or strong enough, was I? Mate? But no, that's what I want to do. I want to just have fun, mate. I want to have fun, and as long I've got to be on, you know, as long as I can pay the bills and keep everyone happy and healthy, and we're all good, and do you know what I mean? And make new friends and stuff. I say the kids. And social media is bad. My social media, I cringe at some of the stuff I used to put on, by the way. I think I got better. Some people probably laugh at it or whatever, but you do. I like social media. I'm addicted to social media, by the way.
Okay.
I'm addicted to Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. I'm addicted. I'm telling you that now. I've got to check it. I've got to look at it. I've got to... and I think we're all guilty of that. So
it's that age,
it needs to be discussed because it's part of life, but I think now I'm more conscious of what I put on. Before I look at stuff back, and even though I innocently wanted to tell people what I was doing, sometimes, oh look, here he goes again, he's at Matt Letizier's house, did we really need to know that? What I'm actually doing now is trying to make people look at it and go, actually, he's doing really well, but so can I, and so can my boy, so can my daughter, do you know what I mean? But yeah, it's just sort of have fun and go do what I do. But who'd have thought, mate, 25, 30 years ago, me and you would be sitting here
doing this.
So it can happen, you know, good things can happen to people, can't they?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You're doing all right.
Well,
you're one of the most interesting people I know. I tell people that.
That's because I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, I love it. See, I know what I want to do. You don't. That's more exciting.